I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird.
Hasan Piker made a huge mistake. So we already talked about Hasan like last week, and he did get banned for 24 hours. Shocker. He only got banned for 24 hours. Who would have seen that coming? Crazy. But basically, he wasn't banned for the previous things he has said, right? He got banned for reading this dude's manifesto. And I also found out, so he was banned for specifically Sunday, a day where he usually takes time off from streaming anyways.
That's crazy.
That's another layer to it. Interesting decision. The biggest problem with all of this is the Twitch TOS, the Twitch moderation team. That's obviously a problem, and it's a problem that they pick and choose what they're banning people for. There's no clear line what you get banned for. They just pick and choose.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So I'm on the road once again and using the potato PC, so no VTuber model for today since it can't handle.
Is he like on vacation or something? Or convention?
No idea.
I think there was a convention upcoming.
It. But anyways, let's get back into the slop content. We're once again talking about Hasan Piker.
Slop.
Wow, what a surprise. Well, yesterday we gave a set of news involving Hasan Piker. He was banned on Twitch for the 6th time, and a lot of people were talking about what's going to happen next over the following 24 hours. Will he be unbanned? Will he not be unbanned? We'll just have to wait and see. Well, we found out the reason, at least, up until yesterday's video, where
And Hasan, in his old glory of a pea-brain, made it public what he was banned for, which gave people even more fuel. Brother, you are getting special treatment. Twitch employees sing you happy birthday on your birthday. Dan Clancy literally said you are his favorite streamer on the platform. And now you also showcasing the extreme bias that is being thrown your way. You're not really that smart, are you?
he was banned for covering the terrorist manifesto provided by the shooter that took the lives of 2 members of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. Twitch actually said the reason was because he was criticizing it, which is not too surprising because according to the rules, you can.
And I think it's important to also remember them. Lovely couple. The guy was about to propose to his girlfriend as well. This is really sad.
Yeah, it was a very sad situation when we found that out.
I don't care if you are pro-Palestine. I don't care, but you need to understand that this is really sad. This whole situation is sad. And if you don't even have an empathy towards a human life, there may be something wrong with you.
Can't talk about this stuff whatsoever, whether it's covering it positively or criticizing it, what have you, it doesn't matter. But the irony here, of course, is that despite all of these years of glorifying terrorist propaganda, platforming terrorists, all this stuff, he finally gets banned for criticizing the manifesto. But then again, when you actually look at the stream, he says some things that are seemingly positive about this.
Wait, I'm gonna read this. He claimed he was reading it to dispel people thinking it was a false flag, which he was highly suggesting in the first place. Okay, I have no idea about that. As for the professionalist, the 2 people who lost their life, the guy was about to propose to his girlfriend, which was already confirmed. Not the shooter.
This shooter's intentions, as well as spreading potential basically conspiracy theories about the situation while saying, well, it's actually not real, guys. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
But like I'm not Mr. False Flag at all, but like every single thing that he did in the aftermath of the shooting is so fucking crazy that it's like you could not have fucking designed a incident like this. You could not have designed a better false flag incident like this. I'm not saying it is a false flag incident at all. I'm not saying that. I think this is just a one dude who is genuine in his actions and maybe.
Buddy, what do you mean he's genuine in his actions? Hold on, let me rewind this.
this. You in the aftermath.
Let me put it to the beginning.
Nudge, nudge.
But like I'm not Mr. False Flag at all, but like every single thing that he did in the aftermath of the shooting is so fucking crazy that it's like you could not have fucking designed a incident like this. You could not have designed a better false flag incident like this. I'm not saying it is a false flag incident at all.
Now
I'm
I
not
remember
saying
this.
that. I think this is just a one dude who is genuine in his actions and maybe.
God, he's so stupid. I can't. I'm going through root canal healing, and I gotta thank Hasan. Like, my brain cells are dying so painfully right now that I barely feel the pain.
You know, a little bit brain broken. Okay.
So the angle here he's playing in the aftermath in the 24 hours since yesterday has been very obvious. He's trying to spin this through many different tweets as his silencing, that he's being deplatformed for his brave coverage of everything going on between Israel and Palestine, sharing
I don't understand the people who are defending him. I just don't understand. I asked this in the last upload I did about Hasan, asking people how people are still defending them. No one could answer me that question because I think at least people who end up watching our stuff, they themselves don't understand why.
sharing stuff like this, saying that he will not be silenced, and even if he is deplatformed, he's done his part to help change the narrative and yada yada yada. He even went so far as to call everyone talking about the situation blue check power farmers and Israel.
Oh yeah, he tweeted this saying every blue check power farmer is an Israeli writer on this website. My guy, you are dumb as a doorknob. Like, termites will stuff at you because of how stupid you are. Termites would not chew on you because you are, and pardon my verbiage, stupider than a log. Just because people do not agree with you, just because people see the rhetoric and the propaganda you're pushing onto your viewership and normalizing doing horrible things to people, doesn't mean they're writers of a specific nation. People are more complex than that, at least well adjusted people. They can support politics A while still mourning the loss of another human being that's not part of the politics A. Humans are more complex than a straight line. There are zigzags, there are circles, there's everything far in between. And I cannot believe that a 40-year-old man, by the way, I don't know his age, but he sounds like a freaking idiot, that a grown-ass man needs this to be explained to him. I would expect this from a 10-year-old, but not a grown man not understanding how human emotions work. Sorry, I got a little heated because this is fucking stupid.
Israeli dick riders when this user simply said a factual sentence saying he's been banned on Twitch. Apparently saying a factual statement about this situation is somehow a statement on the conflict. Very interesting stuff. Nothing can happen without it being framed in some sort of political light. But of course, this is the reason we're here today. In a very unsurprising twist, Hasan has been unbanned after 1 day, 6 minutes, and 20 seconds.
Shock.
And let me make this very clear. Whoever was in charge of making this unbanning is definitely going to be fired for the extra 6 minutes and 20 seconds Hasan had to wait to get back into his account. But in all seriousness, this is not surprising whatsoever. And to pull back the magician's curtain here, yesterday when I talked about this, I said he was only banned for 24 hours. That was not confirmed, but I was so confident that was going to be the case, I said it anyways. And guess what? Me and everyone else who predicted it were right once again. He gets a 24-hour slap on the wrist, likely on a day off.
This is so pathetic.
Where he's going to be welcomed back with open arms from all of his fans, like he's some hero because he spent 24 hours in Twitch jail. And of course, who's responsible for this? Well, of course, we know Dan Clancy. Hasan is his golden boy. He's done many ridiculous things to over and over again show his favoritism towards Hasan.
Not only show, he point out blank said Hasan is his favorite streamer.
Yes, this is a real clip, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and this is the Twitch staff singing happy birthday to Hasan.
To you.
What the fuck?
Happy birthday to you.
Bro, we're never beating the
This is bad.
Hasan runs Twitch allegations after this. This is crazy. Oh my god. Like the most rabid Redditors just clip this and they're gonna be like the most
Hasan really just needs to stop talking.
rabid Redditors just clip this and they're gonna use this permanently to be like, see, I told you he's got banning powers.
Happy birthday, dear Hasan.
This is crazy.
Happy birthday to you.
So seeing clips like that, it is not
And later on, he's gonna be like, "Oh, they don't prefer me. I'm just that based."
surprising that despite 6 bans on Twitch, he's never received longer than a 7-day suspension. And the most recent one is only for 24 hours. Does that really surprise you? In fact, the last 3 have all been 1-day bans. I defy you to find anyone else on this platform who's had that many bans, and the last 3 have been only for 1.
Exactly, and this is what I mean. They're not enforcing their own TOS against Hasan.
Yep.
Even in their TOS, you get 3 bans. You get a perma ban. They cannot even follow that up. And then they're wondering why everyone criticizes Twitch TOS so much. Because you show too much hip as a VTuber, you get banned for 2 months. You push all this stuff, you get banned for 24 hours, 6 times, and nothing else.
1 day a pop. The favoritism is very obvious, but then again, that doesn't shock anyone who's been watching what's been going on with his account over the past couple of years. On top of that, we see some very, well, believable claims from XQC here that Twitch will sometimes contact their biggest streamers and work out a ban around their schedule. That is kind of the conspiracy theory here, where people are believing that Hasan had a scheduled day off, and they said, hey, why don't you serve your suspension on that day off? It doesn't seem too outlandish given the history of Hasan and his favoritism over at Twitch. And also XQC calls out Hasan's chat for their actions during the reading of the manifesto, where they clearly were trying to show their support for the shooter.
Wait, he platformed a known terrorist like WTF Twitch. That's not the only thing he did though, is it? He platformed him. He said how people passing is a justified cause. He said how sometimes you have to put innocent people in harm to push for a cause you believe in. There's a lot of propaganda stuff he's been pushing there.
When you're about to get banned, they send you a DM. Your partner manager will send you a DM and will contact you. Okay? And if it's like, oh dude, can we hold off until this day or whatever? Sometimes they'll listen. Okay? It wouldn't surprise me if they timed the ban so where like it would be as half day off or day off or whatever. It is what it is. That's just kind of how it goes. That's like, it's like a known thing. When I had my like week ban for like a cheating or whatever, they're like, yeah, they're gonna get banned from this day. I just took it how it is, but I think there was like a conversation or whatever on yo, there's a week ban now, whatever. Or last time it was, oh, when you're gonna end your stream, you're probably gonna get banned. That's what it was. The one before that ban. It was, and I was like, okay, well then I'll stay live until fucking like.
Dude, I really miss the era of like XQC drama and all that stuff, rather than having this political people passing drama. Because by this point, this is not content drama. This is like actual people losing their lives. I'd rather go back to the time where, oh, this streamer cheated on this streamer was talking shit about this streamer behind their back. Like, I much rather go back to that time.
3M or some shit like that, because I mean, also I think manifestos are cringe as fuck. The fact that Hasan had his Chinese emote mode.
I genuinely have a problem with people trying to make content out of reading someone's manifesto. I think it's cringe. Especially when it's a freaking grown adult doing that. I think that's so cringe and disgusting.
Yo, if I was reading this shit and I was in the chat was saying hearts and sages, bro, I would delete my account, Loki. I'm not kidding. Bro, I would be so disappointed. I would actually just delete my fucking Twitch account and I would just find something else to do.
Yeah, as you can see, one of the biggest challenges for Hasan Piker is dealing with his own audience. He is so audience captured, he can't come out and condemn attacks like the one on the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., because his own audience will eat him alive. And he is...
And this is what I mean by he's stupid. He cultivated an audience that basically literally uses him as a puppet. So he is at a point where even if he wants to condemn something, if he does, he knows he's gonna lose his audience. He knows his audience is gonna clone on him. So do you think it's a smart content creator who's genuinely not only afraid of his audience, but for one, controlled by his audience? And you can love your audience, but never let your audience to control you. Cultivated an audience that will never be satisfied? Yeah, that too.
Gone on stream after the head of the ADL tried to link his rhetoric to the attack, and he said, chat, you guys need to lock in. You need to get it together because you're going to get me in trouble. He's self-aware enough to know that his rhetoric has produced a very radical community that is just going out there and saying things that will reflect very badly on him. He's self-aware enough to know that's happening. That's why the other day, around the time of the statements made by the head of the ADL, he nuked his community Discord server, and in fact, he even locked invites. That is not the set of actions of someone who has nothing to hide. In fact, it makes him look really bad. And since then, he's gone even further. He has now reportedly deleted all of his VODs after being unbanned, which is very odd. Okay, you can see.
I'm gonna say this from experience. If a content creator is deleting the VODs or videos, if the content creator all of a sudden is paywalling specific VODs, maybe you should look into that. What is the content creator is actually doing? I think it's always an indicator when content creators try to hide, especially VODs, since VODs are like unfiltered, raw opinions, right?
Yep.
To an extent. Like, I mean, people still censor themselves to an extent what they say on streams, but it's less censored than in a video. So content creators who try to quote unquote hide their semi-uncensored opinion, I think it's kind of odd. And it makes me wonder what exactly the content creator is hiding there. Because a person is not going to just wake up one day and be like, oh, let me hide this. There's always a thought process why they're hiding it or why they're paywalling it.
See from his own page, he has nothing, no trace of anything he has ever streamed, and I wouldn't be too surprised if the same starts happening for some of the channels that are archiving his content. But the problem with Hasan is, of course, his outlandish and crazy rhetoric has already been saved everywhere. So it just makes him look very guilty. Or some people are also predicting that maybe this was the work of Twitch. Twitch wanted to delete these VODs in order to prevent more disaster heading their way from a PR perspective. Now, of course, Hasan had something to say about everything going on with this unbanning he received with this caption, "I lived, bitch." I mean, him living this situation, him getting unbanned in 24 hours is like the same as someone living after stubbing their toe. Like, everyone knows or knew this was going to happen. This is not surprising whatsoever. But a lot of people responding to this in the quotes and the replies had a much different perspective. You can see Chibi Review saying Twitch is actually doomed as a platform, which is a fair...
Yep, I really do think they are. And this is why we already are making sure to inform our own community that when the time comes, we'll be streaming not only on YouTube and Twitch, we'll be streaming on YouTube and Kick. Putting all your eggs in one basket is never a smart idea. But content creators who stream, they really should be looking into streaming on on two platforms at the same time, at the least.
Fair statement. They've been on decline for many years. They can't even turn a profit at this point. Their expenses are so astronomically high. They haven't figured out how to use their infrastructure in a even close to cost reductive way. They haven't found a way to do it efficiently. And with all of this negative PR, the adpocalypse currently happening on Twitch is only spiraled. It's gotten so bad that people who are making thousands of dollars of ad revenue a day through their streams are now making $10. Like, the amount of advertisers that have left this platform is actually insane. This is 10 times worse than the YouTube adpocalypse or the several that have happened over there over the years.
So from what I've seen last time, the viewership between Twitch and Kick's viewership is actually higher when it comes to streams.
This one is just a complete pruning. Everyone's leaving. And honestly, as an advertiser, why would you want to stick with this platform? It's volatile. And you're not going to get much bang for your buck in the first place, given how this platform performs financially, at least in terms of...
Also, keep in mind, Kick is using Amazon servers. So Kick is a direct competitor to Twitch.
Their net revenue. But this is an interesting one right here. This only goes to show that it's okay to support terrorism on Twitch. The funny thing about this statement is it's half true, because it's actually worse. It's worse than that, because not only do they turn a blind eye to terrorist sympathizers, they will only punish you under their related rules if you criticize terrorism. The only reason Hasan got banned this time is because he criticized aspects of the Shooters Manifesto, and they used their rule that basically says you can't talk about any of this stuff to give him this one-day ban, with obviously the hope of trying to quell some of the articles and national attention that Hasan and Twitch have been receiving, especially over the past week or so, but I doubt that's going to work. Anyone who falls for this is an idiot, but then again, journalists are idiots, so we'll see where that goes. But here's another one saying, okay, everyone, I think we should all collectively move to Kick at the same time, right at this very instance. You know,
there's no need to there's no need to call for like people to do this or do that. Like, the best thing you can do is, if people ask if they're doing the right thing with streaming on X platform or Z platform, just tell them how it is, that it's not a smart idea to stream only on one platform. Make sure to stream on 2 platforms, and make sure to upload videos on another platform. You don't remember me? You guys banned me last time I was here, but probably it was for a good reason.
You know what? I'll say it again. The greatest promotion ever for Kick has been the existence of Twitch. Just Twitch doing what it does best and just destroying its own PR. They are pushing people over to Kick. That is it's not a very legitimate platform. They're founded largely on gambling and basically having the
Yeah, but to be fair, streamers don't really have a lot of options. You either have Twitch that goes back and forth what TOS even is, with very public and obvious preferred treatment. Then you have YouTube. If you even hum a song, you'll get copyrighted. And then there's Kick that's based on gambling. There's not a lot of options for streamers.
The most outrageous streams over there where pretty much there's no rules. It's kind of the opposite of Twitch, where the rules are unevenly applied and there's a lot of favoritism. Kick is just like, yeah, anything goes. I mean, even people committing crimes are unlikely to get banned over there. But again, the best promotion for Kick is just Twitch continuing on with this BS that they're doing right now.
And it's quite often the right approach. Sometimes all you gotta do is just sit back, do nothing, and let your competition destroy themselves.
Yep.
Honestly, best way of growth. Just you do your thing and just let the competition spiral.
Oh, here's another one. Whoa, posting Sam Hyde on a tweet related to Hasan. You're scaring him, bud. Slow down with that. But anyways, here's one from Sean here, who's one of the orbiters of Hasan. He's like a D-list orbiter. Like, he's probably even below Frogan at this point. He chimes in saying the rich get richer. I know this is supposed to be a joke, but that's like literally what's happening. Like, he clearly showed here that he has a lot of favoritism from the platform, and that no matter what he does, he's going to snake his way through it because Dan Clancy and the Twitch moderation staff have his back. So yes, he's going to get richer from this situation. He's garnered more support from his actual fan base here and gotten more attention. Like, yes, that's exactly what's happening here, because the consequences that happen to him are nothing more than a slap on the wrist and free PR. And then you see Nick in the replies saying, "My king returns." And then he replies with, "Should I post a pic of me and Asmund to piss off the other half or nah?"
Huh?
Dude,
What?
you're better than this. I don't know why
I genuinely cannot stand this dude.
he's resorting to this over the past couple of days, this attempted attention on Twitch for no other reason than attention. I'm sure he has better things to do with his time right now. But another thing that's happening is, well, more articles. The New York Post, just as I'm recording this video, left-wing influencer Hasan Piker gloats as he returns to Twitch after being
What are these pictures? What's wrong with him?
What the hell?
yanked for comments about DC Jewish Museum shooting. You know what? I'm glad they called him an influencer, right? That's worse
Yeah.
than being called a slur at this point. Influencer is like the
True.
worst thing you could be called. But anyways, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I'm sure there'll be more on this situation in the days to come, and if there is more, I'll cover it. But for now, they'll do it for this.
Yeah, so either Hassan will be removed or Twitch will go down. Someone explained to me. So we had Andrew Tate, right? Who committed crimes and was pushing propaganda about men against women.